Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavedanta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Jai Radha Bhakyari Radha Bhakyari Radha Jai Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Hariba Hariba Jai Om Vishwabhat Namaste Divine Shri Bhaichana Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Maharaj ki Shri Govind Sai ki Shri Radha Bhakti ki Shri Radha All glory all glory Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So before we start, we want to express our thanks to Mahapati, Shri Gauranga and all the devotees who worked hard to make yesterday's program a success. Thank you. It was very successful. The program was well organized. The yagya was also executed nicely. So special thanks to Sevatulya Prabhu also, who was sitting in the back. I must say thank you to the cultural program also. I thought that cultural drama was very well directed and executed. Who directed that show? Oh, you. Okay. It goes very well. I think the dialogue was well selected too. We had a play in Delhi called, I forgot the name. It was a little similar to this. So I thought today we'll take on a verse, which is a very famous verse. Some of you probably have it memorized. And if you don't have it memorized, you should memorize it. That describes the qualities that a sadhu or a devotee should cultivate. Are you interested in hearing that? Yes, no? Yes. Okay, everyone. So, male or female, one who wants to pursue spiritual life should cultivate these qualities. Because for the last 1 week, we've been discussing about the need and the importance of associating with a sadhu. We've done all that, but you should also know what qualities a sadhu should manifest. Is that right? Yes. So this is a very famous verse, but we have limited time today because of the schedule. Titikshva Karunikaha Surda Sarva Dhainam Ajata Sattva Shanta Sadva Sadhu Bhushana. I must say our MC. Prahlad. I must say our MC did a good job too. He only made one mistake. Should I tell you what that was? You were probably not fed the information. You forgot to mention the two devotees who came from Ahmedabad. Vishnunam and Chaitanya. Forgot to. Okay. So how many of you know this shloka by heart? Titikshva karunikaha Sudha sarvadainam Ajata shatavashanta Sadva sadhu bhushana Titikshva karunikaha Sudha sarvadainam Ajata shatavashanta Sadva sadhu bhushana. Anyway. Feedback. Mataji. Mataji, ladies. What meaning? This is one of those voices that everybody loves to chant. So we have very limited time. So please excuse me. Okay.
Titikshava, tolerant. Karunika, merciful. Surida, friendly. Sarvadehina, to all living entities. Ajata Sattva, inimical to none. Shanta, peaceful. Sadhava, abiding by scriptures. Sadhubhushana, adorned with sublime characteristics. Translation and prepared by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The symptoms of a sadhu are that he is tolerant, merciful, and friendly to all entities. He has no enemies. He is peaceful. He abides by the scriptures, and all his characteristics are sublime.
Responsibly.
The symptoms of a sadhu, are
louder.
That he is tolerant, merciful, and friendly, to all living entities. He has no enemies. He is peaceful. He abides by the scriptures. And all his characteristics are sublime. Purport by His Divine Grace. A sadhu as described above, is a devotee of the Lord. His concern, therefore, is to enlighten people in devotional service to the Lord. That is his mercy. He knows that without devotional service to the Lord, human life is spoiled. A devotee travels all over the country, from door to door, preaching. Be Krishna conscious. Be a devotee of Lord Krishna. Don't spoil your life in simply fulfilling your animal propensities. Human life is meant for self-realization or Krishna consciousness. These are the preachings of a sadhu. He is not satisfied with his own liberation. He always thinks about others. He is the most compassionate personality toward all the fallen souls. One of his qualifications, therefore, is karunika, great mercy to the fallen souls. While engaged in preaching work, he has to meet with so many opposing elements, and therefore the sadhu or the devotee of the Lord has to be very tolerant. Someone may ill-treat him because the conditioned souls are not prepared to receive the transcendental knowledge of devotional service. They do not like it, that is their disease. The sadhu has the thankless task of impressing upon them the importance of devotional service. Sometimes devotees are personally attacked with violence. Lord Jesus Christ was crucified. Haridas Thakur was caned in 22 marketplaces. And Lord Chaitanya's principal assistant, Nityananda, was violently attacked by Jagai and Madai. But still, they were tolerant because their mission was to deliver the fallen souls. One of the qualifications of a sadhu is that he is very tolerant and is merciful to all fallen souls. He is merciful because he is the well-wisher of all living entities. He is not only a well-wisher of human society, but a well-wisher of animal society as well. It is said here, Sarvadehinam, which indicates all living entities who have accepted material bodies. Not only does the human being have a material body, but other living entities, such as cats and dogs, also have material bodies. The devotee of the Lord is merciful to everyone, the cats, dogs, trees, etc. He treats all living entities in such a way that they can ultimately get salvation from this material entanglement. Shivananda Sen, one of the disciples of Lord Chaitanya, gave liberation to a dog by treating the dog transcendentally. There are many instances where a dog got salvation by association with a sadhu, because a sadhu engages in the highest philanthropic activities for the benediction of all living entities. Yet, although a sadhu is not inimical towards anyone, the world is so ungrateful that even a sadhu has many enemies. What is the difference between an enemy and a friend? It is difference in behavior. A sadhu behaves with all conditioned souls for their ultimate relief from material entanglement. Therefore, no one can be more friendly than a sadhu in relieving a conditioned soul. A sadhu is calm, and he quietly and peacefully follows the principles of scripture. A sadhu means one who follows the principles of scripture and at the same time is a devotee of the Lord. One who actually follows the principle of scripture must be a devotee of God, because all the Shastras instruct us to obey the orders of the personality of Godhead. Sadhu, therefore, means a follower of the scriptural injunctions and a devotee of the Lord. All these characteristics are prominent in a devotee. A devotee develops all good qualities of the demigods, whereas a non-devotee, even though academically qualified, has no actual good qualifications or good characteristics according to the standard of transcendental realization.
What a beautiful purport, isn't it? The verse is beautiful, and the purport is equally beautiful. One more thing before I start. I discovered yesterday, I wasn't aware that Nairobi Temple was famous for paneer. It was probably a secret. It was also famous for paneer now with the milk coming from your own farm. Okay. Tikshva karunika surda sarvadaina ajita sadhva santa sadhva sadhu ushna. So as I said earlier, this is a very well-known verse, and a verse that devotees love to memorize. And when we talk about sadhu, We don't necessarily talk about a sannyasi or a brahmachari. It essentially means anyone who pursues spiritual life. Whether you have a male body or a female body, does not matter. If you want spiritual life, there are certain expectations. So this describes the qualities that a saintly person should develop. Prabhupada in his purport has touched on all the points mentioned in the verse. The first thing he says is Titiksha, tolerance. Now a spiritualist must be very tolerant. In the material world, does not matter who you are. We have to face many obstacles, many challenges, isn't it? But we should not get disturbed. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu emphasized the importance of tolerance in a famous verse from the Sikshashtaka. Which is that famous verse? So we have to be tolerant. Heat and cold, victory and defeat, honor and dishonor are all a part of life. Normally when we get what we want, we feel honored. And when you don't get what you want, you feel dishonored. Honor and dishonor are both there. One day someone may say, "You're a nice devotee." And another day someone will say, "You're a fool. You're just a burden." We have to tolerate. One day you may be victorious. One day you will not be victorious. You have to go and preach. Sometimes it's very cold. Of course, in Kenya, there's not so much variation in weather. But in some parts of the world, it's very cold. It's icy. Like right now, in a country called Kazakhstan, it's very, very cold. But there's one female devotee called Krishna Naika. She goes on book distribution every day, even in the snow. Every day, 365 days a year. She tolerates it. She said, "This is my duty, I have to do it." So she doesn't care whether it's hot or cold. A devotee has to be tolerant. Sometimes we have to challenge it. Look at Prabhupada's life. He was ordered in 1922 to take these teachings to the Western countries. And he had to tolerate so many challenges. And even when, for example, when he went on a cargo ship, that was not an easy job for a 70-year-old man with 40 rupees in his pocket to go in a cargo ship. But he tolerated the inconvenience. Why? He had a higher cause in mind. So we have to be tolerant if we want to go back to Godhead. If you like the Nairobi climate, the pollution, you want to take birth again in Kenya, fine. If you want to go back to Godhead, you have to pay a price tag. And one of the price tags is surrender to Krishna. And surrender to Krishna means developing these qualities. But unless you have these qualities, you can't possibly surrender to the Supreme Lord. So we have to be extremely tolerant. And we see that spirit should be there in any preacher. Sometimes you go for preaching for hours and hours, and you don't distribute too many books. So we should tolerate that. Krishna sees our effort. Then Karunikaha. Karunikaha means, what does it mean? What is it for? Now there are different definitions of mercy. Some people think that being merciful means doing philanthropic work, opening a hospital, building an education institution, and so on. We don't discount the importance of philanthropic work. Sure, you can have. But the highest welfare, as Prabhupada often said, is giving people knowledge of God. If at all there is a scarcity of anything on the planet, it is this knowledge of God. So, what is true mercy? True mercy is to preach. If, for example, Prabhupada would not have sent the late Brahmananda Prabhu to Kenya, if Prabhupada would not have come himself to plant the seed of Krishna consciousness, we would not be here today. We are here because some people did the pioneering work. Some people did the dirty work, as you want to call it. Now to walk into the temple, become a devotee, is not so difficult as it would have been 50 years ago to join, and there were no facilities. So real mercy is to give people knowledge of God. Why? You may build a hospital or a school or whatever, but if you don't teach people how to cleanse the heart, then that facility that you create is just going to complicate matters more. You do a cataract operation for somebody who can't see. You restore his vision. If he goes and sees pornography and other vulgar things, then you've not helped him, you've entangled him. The true mercy is to deliver the message of the Lord. And what does Prabhupada say in the purport? Go house to house. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called Lord Nityananda Haridas and said, go house to house and preach. You may say, we are in Kenya, we can't do this house to house. People will throw us out. But according to time and circumstances, you can adjust. But the point is that real mercy is giving people knowledge of God. When we go to Harinam, that's the division of real mercy. In Moscow, you've heard of Moscow? There's a Moscow city in America also. I was talking about the real Moscow in Russia. In Moscow there are 5 different Sankirtan parties that go on the streets every day and do Harinam. And they don't have any police permission. They've developed a very good relationship with the police by giving them prasad regularly. So even though they are pretty demoniac, but they love our prasad. So when a devotee wants to go to get permission, they take a box of sweets and they go on and do Harinam. That is true mercy. People who hear the holy name and get purified. So real mercy is to give people knowledge of God. Our mentality should not be, I have saved myself, and the others go to hell, what do I care? No. A devotee must have the mood of compassion. A Vaishnava especially is paradukha dukhi. Seeing others in distress, he gets distressed. So we should not be thinking, oh, we have the nice facility now in Nairobi, we have nice brahmacharya ashram. We should see how can we make the others more fortunate. So what is real mercy? Real mercy is to, what's real mercy? Preach the message of God to everyone. It's not that when you want to preach, everyone's going to be favorable. No. In every environment, some will support you, some will oppose you. Even in countries like India, where you would expect that everyone would applaud you at every step. Many times when a devotee is on a book distribution, they say, what is this? Every day you come on the streets to distribute books. Don't you have something else to do? So, when you are preaching, it's not that everyone's going to support you. When Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur started their preaching, some houses they went to welcome them and said, yes, what's your message? Some opposed them. Some didn't even open the doors. So, a devotee should have the mood of displaying real mercy. And there are various devices, Harinam, even prasad distribution, preaching, book distribution. Book distribution is an activity that Prabhupada cherished the most. He said, if you want to please me, what do? How many of you do book distribution in Nairobi now? How many devotees go on book distribution? Where is she here? No. We should have more of a display of this mercy. I think now we're going a little slow. We should have this merciful nature. Surda Sarva Dhainam. What is Surda Sarva Dhainam? I'm a friend of everyone. Everyone is my friend. Not that I divide society into friends and enemies. We don't divide society into friends and enemies. Prahlad's father, as you know, was a king, a demoniac king. He wanted his son to be trained in diplomacy. What does diplomacy mean? He's my friend, he's my enemy. That's what the politicians do, isn't it? So Prahlad had two teachers, Sanda and America. Under the father's instruction, they were training up the Prahlad in diplomacy. Prahlad said, no, I'm not interested in this. Everyone is my friend. No one is my enemy. So a devotee considers everyone to be his real friend. Even if someone criticizes you, normally we say, oh, if he criticizes me, he's my enemy. He's envious of me, jealous of me, isn't that? That's what we say. But if somebody is criticizing you or pointing out something that's good, we should be happy. The devotee has no enemies. Is that easy to do? Yes or no? No. It's not easy to cultivate that mood. The mood should be, everyone's my friend. Even as if somebody is criticizing you, you treat him as your friend. That is the real mentality of a devotee. No one's my enemy. Your own mind is your greatest enemy. The mind presents so many obstacles when you pursue spiritual life. So the own mind becomes your enemy. So a devotee is a friend of everyone. Then what did he say? Ajata Shatava. He is inimical to none. He is friendly with everyone. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains what are the austerities of the tongue. You must be aware that in spiritual life, you hear about tapasya all the time, true, false. There are so many so-called religious preachers of the world. Examine their teachings. They never talk about tapasya. They never talk about austerity. Once I asked a very prominent preacher, you give such big sermons, but you don't talk about austerity at all, which is discussed in the scriptures so often. He said, if you talk about austerity, nobody will come to my lectures. So that's a fact. If you talk about austerity, then nobody will take it, come seriously. When Prabhupada first went to New York, and on one occasion, he had a meeting with the sadhus, swamis who were there. They were advising Prabhupada, you are too conservative. In America, no one's going to listen to you. You should become like us, westernized. And Prabhupada refused to come. Prabhupada was trying to get the Bhagavad Gita published in America. Prabhupada had translated the Gita twice. Once he translated it in India before going to the West, and he was looking for a publisher. With great difficulty he found someone who may be interested in financing it. But then when he came back to Calcutta, he discovered that the manuscript was sold. So then he retranslated the Gita. And when he went to America in 1965, in 66 he sent Brahmananda and Ramananda, his disciples, to all the publishers to get the Gita published. So they went to big publishers in America, in New York. But the publishers would say, read the manuscript and say, too much mention of bhakti, bhakti, bhakti. Too much mention of Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. If we reduce the mention of bhakti and Krishna, then we may consider printing your book. So they came to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, all the publishers are saying you're mentioning bhakti too often and devotion and Krishna too often. They want you to reduce the mention. I said, no compromise. Then how did Prabhupada find Macmillan? Devotees in America, in New York, Prabhupada had produced an album called The Happening Record. That was advertised in a magazine called The Village Voice. And those days they had the VPP system. You could write in, send money by post, and then they would send the record by post. So, one accountant who worked for a very big company called Macmillan. Macmillan was a book publisher. One accountant from Macmillan wrote to ISKCON, the Apple records, that he wants one of those records. So Brahmananda saw, this is the same Brahmananda who came to Kenya. Brahmananda saw envelope from Macmillan. He knew how much Prabhupada wanted to get the Gita published. So he took the envelope to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, somebody from Macmillan Company wants your record. So Prabhupada knew Macmillan Company was a publisher. So Prabhupada told Brahmananda, you go and deliver the record yourself. Don't send it by post. So Brahmananda got dressed up in a suit and went to Macmillan and said, he went to give this record to the man who ordered the record. Luckily at that time, in that meeting hall, there was also the editor of the religious section of Macmillan sitting over there. So this man introduced Brahmananda. This is Mr. So-and-so, who is in charge of our religious books. So Brahmananda, when he heard this man's the editor of the religious books, was exactly what he was looking for. He said, my spiritual master has translated the Bhagavad Gita in English, and he's looking for someone to publish it. And the editor said, oh, we just published the Bible, we just published the Quran, we just published the Jewish literature, and we are looking exactly for a Bhagavad Gita to publish. So Brahmananda came back to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, they want you to see your manuscript. And the next day, Brahmananda went with the manuscript and they agreed to publish it. Prabhupada never compromised. So he never compromised. He didn't strike out Bhakti and Krishna so that people will publish it. He spoke the truth and he maintained the truth. So a devotee is inimical to no one. He is friendly with everyone, even those who criticize him. So one of the austerities of the tongue is to speak the truth, but to speak it in a palatable manner, sweetly. So a devotee should not be inimical. We should not be friendly to some and unfriendly to others. Generally, we are friendly to those who do us favors, and those who don't do us favors, we get to be inimical. But a devotee should be friendly to everyone. Shanta. What does Shanta mean? Peaceful. Why are we not peaceful? Why are we not peaceful? Who knows? Huh? Conflict. Conflict of the mind. I'm talking about devotees, I'm not talking about gross karmis. Conflict of the mind. Should I pursue spiritual life or material life? Can I have my cake and eat it too? You know the famous English saying. There's a very nice cake with icing. Looks beautiful, but your mouth is releasing saliva. You want to eat it also. So you can't have it both ways. So the point is, we live by this. If we are single-pointed, in that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was instructing Sanatana Goswami said, the process of Sharanagati. What does Sharanagati mean? To surrender. The process of surrender means accept what is favorable for spiritual advancement and reject what is. That should be our guiding mantra. Accept what is favorable, reject what is unfavorable. And Rupa Goswami says, my dear friend, whichever price you may have to pay the price, but become Krishna conscious. So to be Krishna conscious, you do have to pay a price. And Krishna doesn't keep any secrets. Does Krishna keep any secrets? Does he? No. Krishna clearly says, Sarva dharma parityaja mam ekam sharanam ham tam sarva pape vayo mokshashami. I will protect you. Mahasuchaha, do not worry. But only on one condition. What is that one condition? Surrender me. Krishna doesn't say, do your nonsense, surrender to me 10% only, 90% discount, and I will protect you. No. Krishna says, full 100% you give to me, then I'll protect you. Krishna doesn't do banyagiri, bargaining. He doesn't say 80%. Yes, when Krishna says, Sarva dharma parityaja, he doesn't mean give up Islam, give up Christianity, give up everything and become a Vaishnava. He means engage your mind, body, senses in my service. Then I guarantee you, you will come to me. So Krishna doesn't mince words. Mata Partam Nalya. He says it is openly, no truth higher than me. So, a devotee lives by scriptures. And these are the qualities a devotee must cultivate. Now in the purport, Prabhupada mentions about two important points. He mentions the story about Shivananda Sen, and he talks about Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur, as you know, was very attached to the holy name. Philosophically, is considered to be the incarnation of Brahma. It's a long story. Brahma desired to take birth in a very humble position. So Haridas was getting so much respect, and at that time, 500 years ago, the Mohammedans were ruling in many parts of India, including eastern India, Bengal. So Haridas was brought to the king. The Qazi was a magistrate. And the king said, Haridas, you're born in a Muslim family. You know what it means, such a high elevated birth. And you're chanting the names of Krishna. We don't even eat rice if it's touched by a Hindu. And you're chanting the holy name. So Haridas explained that there's not even, the holy names of the Lord are omnipotent and non-different. But the king failed to convinced Haridas to stop chanting. And the kings, they said, Haridas, if you don't follow all this, you'll be cut into pieces. Haridas said, no problem. So in those days, the system of punishment was they would drag the person through different marketplaces and somebody would be whipping him at the same time. So they said, Haridas, if you don't give up chanting Hare Krishna, then we're going to whip you to different marketplaces. So they started dragging him to different markets, first market, second market, third market, and they gradually came to the 22nd market. Normally the experience was that by the time somebody would reach the second or third market, would be dead. They were flogging him. You know what flogging is? Flogging, beating badly. So Haridas went on chanting. They were flogging him, but still there was no mark on his body. Finally they reached the 22nd marketplace. At that point, the two people who were whipping him said, now the king will not leave us alive. We have failed in our duty. He's going to punish us. So Haridas pretended as if he was dead. And by his mystic power, he controlled his breathing completely. So those who were flogging him, you know what is flogging? Beating very badly. So those who were flogging him were saying, now the king won't leave us because Haridas hasn't died. Usually people die by the time we take him to the second and third marketplace, he's still alive. So Haridas heard that because of him, those who were flogging him would get killed. Haridas had the compassion. What did he do? He controlled his mystic breathing, and when they saw Haridas's pulses were not moving, he was not inhaling anymore, they rejoiced in ecstasy. Haridas is dead, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead at last. So the word reached the king. Then at last Haridas died. He died on the 22nd marketplace. So the king said, bring his body here. We'll give him burial according to Muslim rites. He was a Hindu, but we were acting like a Hindu. The Qazi said, no. The Qazi was a real fanatic. No. We should throw him in the Ganga. This man was so offensive, we should not give him the honor of a Muslim burial. Throw him in the Ganga. So they threw him in the Ganga. And Haridas swam across, and in a hut underneath the tree started chanting again. So the word reached the king. And then Haridas, who was declared dead, is alive and chanting the holy name. The king was shocked, and the king came and begged forgiveness. So Haridas Thakur, in order to prove his loyalty to the holy name, in order to go on chanting the holy name, he had to face death threats. You know, he was beaten, but he did not stop chanting. Now someone would say, oh, Haridas wasn't going to. So we are not at that level. We may not be at that level, but by hearing the stories of the great acharyas, what do we get? Inspiration. Prabhupada talks about Jesus Christ, how he was crucified. So a devotee of the Lord should be ready to tolerate adversaries also. When our devotees went to the former Soviet Union in 1970, many of them were imprisoned. Some of them even died in jail. But they didn't give up the chanting of the holy name. So we need to develop determination I believe there was in Libya, not Libya, some African country with L, where two or three, one Mataji was shot. Huh? Which country? Libya. Liberia. She was shot, but she did not get the stop chanting the holy name. So, there are examples, even in the present day ISKCON, of devotees who underwent great hardships to preach. And Prabhupada gives example in the purport of Lord Nityananda. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Haridas and Nityananda, go house to house and preach, Nityananda and Haridas knew that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was God, but they wanted to glorify him more. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was God, appeared as a devotee. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Daya Karamoy. So they did a survey. Who in this town is most fallen? And if that most fallen can get saved, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's glory would be enhanced. So after a survey they found the two brothers, born in a Brahminical family, and become degraded. Who were they? Last year they had elections in India. So Prime Minister Modi was campaigning in Krishnanagar in Bengal. In his campaign speech he said, if you vote us to power, we'll get rid of all the Jagai Madais. At least he used Jagai Madai. So they discovered that these two brothers are debauchees. So they said, let us try and make them into devotees. But many people told them, Prabhu, don't go near them. They won't leave you alive. You know how deadly these two brothers are. They're always drunk, they're always intoxicated, and they beat anyone who goes for kirtan. So they don't go, everyone told them, don't go near them. If you go near them, they'll kill you. Haridas and Nityananda didn't care because they were ordered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to go out and preach. So they went, and when Jagai and Madai heard what they were preaching, they said, get out! And they started chasing them. And they both ran. But they could not catch Haridas and Nityananda. But Jagai and Madai, because they used to drink a lot, they had their bellies out. You know, when you drink a lot, you get a big belly. So they couldn't catch hold of her. So when they went in the evening, they gave a report to Lord Nityananda what happened. And Lord Nityananda, so Lord Chaitanya said, you would think Lord Chaitanya may have said, okay, don't go there again, okay? No. Lord said, go back again. And they came back again the next day to preach to Jagai and Madai. So they were so offended when they saw them again. You came back again to teach to us? Didn't we tell you yesterday not to come anywhere near us? And bang. What did happen? Nityananda threw a stone that caused the forehead of the Lord to bleed. The Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached in Andhra Visuchena. But when he saw that his devotee was attacked, he came with a Sudarshan Chakra to punish him. But the Lord Nityananda stopped it. He said, my Lord, this is just a small sample of what you can expect in Kali Yuga. And so when Jagai Madai saw that even though he was causing the Nityananda to bleed, and Nityananda didn't believe in tit for tat, he felt compassion, he felt sorry, and they begged forgiveness, and they became great devotees. So the point is, when you're preaching the mission of the Lord, doesn't matter which part of the world you reside in, you have to face many hardships. And we should be willing to undergo these hardships. we should not look for what they call in English comfort zone. You know what a comfort zone means? There's very little response from the audience. You know what a comfort zone is? Yes. What is it? What is it? You're always looking for a comfortable position. I will preach, but I only preach if you give me a car, a driver, and a nice place to go. I don't have to struggle. People will, the moment I come out of the car with books, they'll say, Prabhu, I want a book, I want a book. That's what it means, comfort zone. I'll serve, I'm ready to do service, but you give me my terms, not your terms. That's called the comfort zone. So we are all looking for comfort zones. I will serve if I get this. But if you're looking for comfort zones, then what will happen? You'll be denied ticket back to God. You get a ticket back to God and you have to get out of the comfort zone. And that is the mood of a missionary. I'm not looking for comfort zones. I'm just looking for the opportunity to serve. So, Jagai Madai was cited the Prabhupada. And the Prabhupada also cited the example of Shivananda Sen. Shivananda Sen was a devotee of the Lord. He was returning from his duties, and a dog began to follow him behind. The dog was following him behind. Then they came to the boat. They had to take a boat to cross the river. When they came to take the boat was, hey, you can't bring the dog inside. He said, okay, take more money. Then he allowed him in. So Shivananda said he used to feed his dog. And one day when he was out on some errand, he saw, when he came back home, he saw that the dog left his house because his servant forgot to feed the dog. So the dog left the home. So Shivananda Sen was very upset. This dog who had come in my care has left home. He sent several of his colleagues to look for the dog. They could not find it. So Shivananda Sen had gone to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what did he see? Mahaprabhu was throwing dry cockroaches, and the dog was jumping up and eating it. And then they went back to Godhead. So there, once when Lord Chaitanya was young, once he took a puppy dog. There were many puppy dogs, but Nimai took the most beautiful puppy dog home. So Nimai's friends started saying, you stole the best puppy dog and left the ugly puppy dogs for us. And Nimai's mother said, we are Brahmins. How can you have dogs in our house? No, I won't allow that. And Nimai said, if you don't allow the puppy dog, then I'm not staying at home either. So then the mother had no choice. So one day when Nimai had gone swimming in the Ganga, his mother released the puppy dog, and the puppy dog wasn't at home. So when Nimai was in the Ganga, his friends came and said, Nimai, your mother has released the puppy dog, no one knows where it has gone. So Nimai told his friends, look for that puppy dog. They went everywhere searching for the puppy dog. And they found the puppy dog where? In the center of the city. The dog was dancing on two legs, two hands in the sky, and chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. And in front of everyone, the dog was in such ecstasy that in front of everyone, it came from the spiritual world. The dog got on the chariot saying, bye-bye, went back to God. So you want to keep a dog, you have to guarantee you'll make him a Hare Krishna devotee. Otherwise, don't copy Shivananda Sen. Don't say, oh, Shivananda Sen was so careful. So to summarize, these are the qualities of a sadhu that we briefly discussed. These are very elaborate topics. But I thought that all of you should here and make an endeavor to cultivate these qualities. How many of you would like to cultivate these qualities? No one. How many of you feel you already have these qualities? Deja vu. How many of you feel you have these qualities? No one. Okay, at least you're not being honest. How many of you feel you have 50% of these qualities? Okay. So please endeavor to develop these qualities. Prabhupada, when he was lecturing in Nairobi University in 1971, he told the audience was more than 2,000 African students. There were no. And Prabhupada said, we are not this body. If you want to get out of the bodily realization, and Prabhupada told them, give them the whole philosophy. You must take interest in the philosophy. You must read these books regularly. If we don't read, we'll be on the mental platform. Even our initiated devotees, if they don't read, they don't understand the philosophy. And if they don't understand the philosophy, like here Krishna is offering nice facilities for devotees to live. Loka Dham, Vaikuntha Dham, how many dhams do you have here? I hope people don't think I'm living here, that means I've got my ticket to the dham. But the mood should be, not that I'm staying here so I'll get a cheap bargain. The mood should be work for the pleasure of Krishna. We offer the results. Krishna says, karma devani mahaphaleshu kadachana. If you want to make spiritual advancement, offer the fruits to me also. Not that, oh, the fruits go in my pocket and the flowers go to Krishna. Krishna says, patram puspa phalam toyam. So I'll do that, and a mood we should exhibit surrender in our dealings. That is perfection. Hare Krishna. Any questions? All right. Any comments? Yes. You have a question? I'm ready. There's very little response from the audience in Nairobi lectures. Sorry. Yeah.
When you ask comfort zone, you don't have to say, is Prasadam hall, Nairobi Prasadam hall.
Comfort zone.
Comfort zone, name of the comfort zone.
That means the prasad is too opulent. I always tell that, in India, a lot of people like sponsoring Sunday feasts and that. But I've told all the temples where I work, doesn't matter what people sponsor, we give people a simple diet, not opulent diet. I'm completely against temple devotees getting opulent prasad. Because then they get attached to paneers and pakoras and all that. There are no questions from any of you? Low IQ? Prabhupada said, yes.
Maharaj, we often find that we read, like today's verse, we've heard many times, we've read about it, we know it, but then to apply those qualities in life or to apply the philosophy in life practically, that becomes a challenge. So how do we do that and live the scripture?
Everything is a challenge. If we don't take this challenge, then we are left with the present lifestyle, which is based on material activities, material attachments, and it guarantee you nothing but more births and deaths. Is birth and death an enjoyable process? Is it? No. Anyone who thinks Getting another birth is, oh, no problem. I'll take birth in Bill Gates' family. Yes. Even if you take birth in Bill Gates' family, the whole process of birth is such a painful process. I mean, almost every 2-3 days I hear my baby is born premature, this, that. There's so much misery now. Birth is a very painful process. The third canto of Bhagavatam describes how the child develops and suffers in the womb of the mother. So if you want the highest result, you have to pay the price. If you don't want to pay the price, if you want to pay a discounted price, then you get discounted benefit. Okay, go to the heavenly planet, live like a king for 1,000 years. But then come back again to the material world. So the choice is ours. We have to make an effort. Okay, more questions? Yes. Yes, yes.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for the very insightful lesson. So for me, actually,
Could you speak a little louder?
okay, from my observation, I realized that in this path of devotional service, some of us, we are going through a lot of silent battles, yeah? And some of these silent battles do arise a lot of doubt, for example, to an individual like me. So when a common man like me looks through the lens of doubt, all I see is confusion. So how do I handle such confusion?
Okay. Can you take it there?
He's saying that he has a lot of silent battles fighting, and then when he looks at the philosophy through the lens, it seems doubtful. So how does he, and he sees confusion, so how does he get out of it?
You sometimes find the confusion. You see, within the mind there are conflicts, and we find there's confusion. This is right. Even Arjuna was confused. Arjuna said, Krishna, you're telling me to take part in this battle, but these are soldiers that I had reverence for all along. How do you expect me to fight? So Arjuna also could not handle the situation. So he said, Krishna, now I'm surrendering unto you, you please guide me. So it's very natural that we'll have confusion, questions, etc. So what we should do is approach a advanced devotee, take knowledge. In Prabhupada's books, in the purports, there's a very elaborate explanation that can satisfy most people. But if it can't, then approach someone who knows better than you and take guidance. Does that answer your question? There are always so many saintly people coming through Nairobi. You take the help from them. Don't keep the doubts in your mind. If you keep the doubts in your mind, then the doubts will increase. And then you'll say, okay, this is not for me. But if you get the doubts corrected at every step, then you can be on the safe path. Good question, thank you. More questions? Yes.
When you are around us, we feel that Krishna consciousness is very easy. So how can we maintain the mood of always feeling your presence amongst us?
Prabhupada said, of course, we are not comparing ourselves to Prabhupada. Prabhupada was a million times ahead of us. Prabhupada said, I never felt that my spiritual master was not with me. Prabhupada met his guru in total about 10 times in his whole life. That's all. 10 times in 40 years is nothing. But he took his instruction to heart. And a sage is one associates through two avenues, Vapu and Vani. Vapu is temporary for everyone. Vani is permanent. So we should take the instructions to heart and try and enforce the instructions. That will give us success. We can't be we can't be kids all our lives sucking our thumb. We have to grow up and stand on our legs, you know. We have to learn to live with the Vani. Prabhupada said, I never felt my spiritual master was not with me. Okay. Any more questions? Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
You have to speak louder.
Yeah. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. In your lecture you mentioned about controlling the mind, body and senses. So my question is, like, being a human being, we have a lot of situations where the mind, we get disturbance in terms of envy and other things when situation doesn't come in favorable. And we started thinking of Lord and started chanting. But the offense is already done, right? So how do we avoid that?
Yes, how do we avoid?
So the offense is already done, right? The offense is already done by mind. So this will take time to come out from that. So
Okay, first I'll give you some good news. You want some good news? Mental offenses don't count in Kali Yuga. Okay, but don't make it a habit. If you make it a habit, then it translates to reality. So what's the question? Huh?
He said, how do we avoid mental offense?
But so our goal should be to think positively about everyone. Prabhupada said we should be like the bee and not the fly. The fly is always looking for a dirty environment. Yeah? And it's natural that we have these anarthas. These are called anarthas, jealousy, envy. But the way to overcome anarthas is by bhajana kriya, by chanting, hearing, etc. The good thing is in the Vedas, in the Bhagavad Gita and the scriptures, the problem gets identified and the solution is presented. Just like Krishna says, Devi Isha Gunamaya Mama Maya Duradaya. It's very difficult to overcome Maya. So you may say, Krishna says it's very difficult to overcome Maya. What do you want me to do? But then he says, Mama Mame Prabhadante Maya Vitam Taranti. If you surrender to me, then you can overcome. So the solution is given after the problem is analyzed. Okay, question, yeah.
Krishna Maharaj, we who are mainly Grihasthas, basically, we face on a daily basis problems, family and outside both, that is profession, business and all. We experience this pain on a regular basis, but still we are not able to come out or break that barrier of attachment. How to do it?
Attachments are there, but we don't say if you're a householder, you can't have any affection or attachment to your wife or children. We don't say that. But you must have it, see things in the right perspective. If you have some attachment to your children, you must also see, I make my children Krishna conscious. We don't say you have zero attachment to family members. It takes time. But at the same time, we should realize that these relationships are all temporary. And if that is, and our goal should be, yes, there is some affection. In the 7th canto, there's a chapter called Ideal Family Life. I request all Grihasthas to read it. So the Yudhishthira Maharaj asked a question. Yudhishthira Maharaj said, can you please, he asked this question to Narada Muni, can you tell us how those of us who are living in Grihastha ashram can achieve perfection? He was asking that question on behalf of the householders of today. And Narada Muni said, engage in earning livelihood, but use the livelihood also to serve Krishna. And how to do that? Get guidance from saintly people. Okay? Any more questions? Yes? No question from the ladies?